Hi friends, welcome back to Kahaniyon Ki Duniya. This is Ruchi and today I'll be narrating a story from Gulmohar. It is an extract from Five Children and It by Edith Nesbit. So let's start the story. Cyril, Anthea, Robert, Jane and the baby live in London. But their parents take them to stay in the countryside during the summer. The idea of staying in the countryside was wonderful for the children, who were used to rows of dull, grey houses and dull, grey streets with nowhere to go. However, their father had to go away on business and their mother had to go away too. Cook and Martha look after them, but the children quickly grow bored. One day, they decided to go outside and build a sandcastle in a big gravel pit. While digging, they come across a strange creature. "It's alive!" Anthea screamed. "Help! It will get away!" "What have you found?" demanded Robert. "A rat." "Perhaps it is a snake," said Jane, shuddering. "No," said Anthea. "It's too big for a rat and too furry for a snake. It's got hands and feet, and it spoke to me." "Leave me alone," said a husky voice, making them all jump back, and their hearts jumped nearly as fast as they did. "Please, please come out," Anthea said into the hole. "I wish you would." "Oh well, if that's your wish," said the voice, and out of the hole wriggled a fat, furry brown creature. It was about the size of a large cat, but with arms, legs, feet, and hands like a monkey's, long whiskers and pointed ears like a bat's. Its eyes were on stalks like a snail's horns, and it could stretch or shorten them. "Can we take it home?" asked Jane. The creature turned its long stalk eyes to take a good look at her. "Does she always talk nonsense?" it asked. "She doesn't mean to," said Anthea gently. "We won't hurt you. Don't be afraid." "Afraid?" repeated the creature indignantly. "Me? Don't you know a Samide when you see one?" "A Samide?" repeated Anthea. "What's that?" "A sand fairy in English," it said crossly. "Now go away." It wriggled down into the sand again. "Please don't go," cried Robert. "You are the most wonderful thing I have ever seen." The sand fairy smoothed its long rat-like whiskers and smiled. "How long have you been here?" asked Robert. "Ages," said the Sammy. "Thousands of years." "Where are the other Sammies?" asked Robert. The Sammy's head and whiskers drooped. "It is very sad. The children used to build castles on the beach for us to live in, but they would dig moats around them and that nasty sea would rush in." "Wasn't that fun?" asked Cyril. "Fun?" said the Samid. "We are delicate creatures. If we get wet, we catch a cold and die. So there were fewer and fewer of us. Now, goodbye." "Please stay," said the children, and Jane added, "Can you grant us wishes like a real fairy?" "I just did," it said. "You wished I had come out, and I did." "Oh, please, can we have another one?" asked Jane. "If you must," it said grumpily, "but hurry up about it." "Please," said Anthea, remembering a wish that she and Jane had talked about. "We wish we were very, very beautiful." The Samite stretched out its eyes on their stalks and seemed to hold its breath and puff itself out until it was twice its normal size. "I hope it doesn't hurt itself," said Anthea. "Or crack its skin," Robert said anxiously. Then the Sammy suddenly let out its breath and collapsed down to its usual size. I hope that didn't hurt, said Anthea. Just my whisker, it said. You are a kind and thoughtful child. Quickly, it buried itself in the sand again. The children looked at each other. Each of them was looking at three astonishingly beautiful faces. It was like looking at strangers. If it hadn't been for their clothes, they wouldn't have known each other. Cyril, you look like a golden-haired angel, said Cynthia. It's not like you. I think I liked you and Robert better before. And you two girls look like silly greeting cards, said Robert. Let's go home. It must be dinner time. I will carry the lamb, said Anthea. The baby, who had woken up, took one look at her and howled. When the children tried to pick him up, he only fought and kicked. It was an hour before the lamb would let them carry him home, and by that time, the lamb was as hungry as a lion and as thirsty as a desert. When they reached the house, Jane was almost falling under the lamb's weight. She was glad to hand him to Martha, who was waiting for them at the door. Martha snatched him from her. Who on earth are you? She demanded. What are you doing with a baby? We are us, said Robert. I am Robert. And I am Cyril, said Cyril. Let us in. Please, we know we look different, but, began Anthea. I don't know who you lot are and what are you up to, snapped Martha. But if our children put you up to this, they will be in trouble. Shoo, she shut the door in their faces. The children banged at the door and rang the bell, but it was no good. They wandered away down the lane, hungry, thirsty, and stunningly beautiful. Finally tired and with nowhere to go, they sat down under a hedge. It will wear off at sunset, said Jane. Then we will look normal again. Then, huddled together for comfort, they fell asleep. When Anthea awoke, the sun had set. It's all right, she cried. We are ordinary again. Where do you think you have been? Demanded Martha when they got home. We had some very strange children this afternoon. They were horrible, said Anthea. They stopped us from coming home until now. We only just got away and we are starving. Well, don't you go near them again, said Martha. As cook brought in a supper that looked and smelled delicious. We will take good care to never see them again, said Robert, and they never have.